to the Global Guided Meditation call for January 9th, 2020, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I know that we all wonder a lot about things. And I know we have conversations with ourselves and we say, what if? Wonder what it'd be like if it was this way. Wonder what it'd be like if it was this way. And this is kind of the veil, if you will, that has been here for pretty much ever. And I think a lot of us have picked up certain things, seeping in from past lives, future lives, because, we exist on many different planes. And when we will come full circle. We will come to the beginning. And what I mean by that is that we will comprehend exactly what we are, and we will understand what direction we are to take. Now, if you look at this planet, the civilization, the current civilization, this one, in all of the different so-called depictions and the conflicts of the civilization, we've learned, I think that many, and this is a good thing, have learned and gained the knowledge to know that the kind of the Draco mentality, where you fight and against each other for trivial things, like, land, wealth, a lot of different things that are trivial. They're insignificant. And that's why the frequencies have elevated. And all that takes is for each of us to continually go within, and not just temporarily, but permanently. When we go within, we step in and then we step out, we step in and we step out. And unfortunately, because of the false induced information that has proliferated the civilization for generations, which is false, people are fearful to visit with their God. Okay? They are not comfortable in that thought. So they withdraw. And they, even though the matrix, this structure, if you will, and they kind of have an idea that the matrix is really not something that they care to be involved with any longer, but at the same time it's comforting enough so that they don't have to and to pursue or choose to pursue their God, the God within. So they elect to connect with the God outside, the God in the sky, the God above you. And that seems to be much more comforting to them. And this is why we have a lot of people on this planet that just are scared, very heavily scared, to go within. And I've had conversations with people who have approached me and have, shared things out of the clear blue. And, they kind of ask the question, what am I supposed to be doing? and you say to them, have you ever thought about going within yourself? And they get real, I think, antsy or not comfortable about that, asking them that. And I've had people say to me, well, you see, I've got some problems with that. It's been one of the responses. I have some problems with that. And it's a fear. You imagine that we have been so configured artificially that we fear the God within us? Think about that. How can that be? Do you begin to understand why we have so much separation amongst us on the planet here? Why we don't have the synergy? In the past, I've always used a flock of birds, how they move together, but they're all separate. They appear separate, but when you watch them at times, and they're all together, it's absolutely amazing. There's not one out of place, and they form this image, this construct of them, and moving and moving all together. And in a way, and this is a message also, by the way, when birds do this, it is a message. See, all the parts of source creation, birds, everything, in them, they house a piece of source creation. And these messages in the other animals on the planet are constantly sending us messages. Okay? Why do we like our pets so much? Because they show us the deep eternal love. It's a reflection to continually remind us of who and what we are. Now, we don't think of it this way. As a pet, we love them and they love us. But do you notice that they're teachers as well? I don't think we view it that way. And no matter how hard they have tried to get that clear to us, is that you ever see them? Do they ever get irritated forever? Do they carry grudges? None of that stuff. And then you see the pets that pick up anxieties and stresses and tensions. Where do you think they're getting that? Okay? From us. We affect everything in the one, the whole, source creation. We're affected by everything, and we affect everything. So if you're down and depressed for some particular reason that you grabbed the thought, created it into a reality, and you began to experience the thought that you turned into a reality that you pulled in, and you're down, your energy's down, you just aren't that happy, and you feel lost or just kind of like an empty zone. And your pet picks that up. And why do we get that way? It's because the ego mind is in command, and you have embraced certain thoughts that it is machine gunned at you, and you've created the reality in your existence. And a lot of the times these thoughts are they're covered, they're in disguise until we embrace them and turn them into a reality, and then we go, whoa, where's this coming from? Why am I experiencing this? Because you embraced the thought, turned it into reality. That's why. And you weren't conscious of it, you just did it because you're so used to doing it. And to know this is phenomenal. Just to know it. That's the first step of knowing it. and being conscious of it. Then when you get to, you're in that stage, say, okay, now I know that it's up to me. Always has been. I'm the director, I'm the conductor, I'm the master, I'm the commander, I'm all of it, all in one. Therefore, I began to start paying attention much more internally than externally. I don't mean that you're just going to ignore everything going on around you. It just means that you set a precedence that your priority is within. And you see how things will transform for you because you're doing it. It's not some magical thing that's doing it. You are doing it. If you want to look at yourself as a magical, then that's great too. But you're doing it. And the more that you comprehend and the more consciousness that each and every one of us embrace, the confidence that maybe some don't have begins to grow. And it's not the ego confidence. It is the heart confidence. And it begins to grow and strengthen. Which then, what does that do for us? It gives us many different avenues and opportunities of which we would not ever have entered into. And this takes us to the bridge over the river of void into the unknown, the land across the bridge over the river. And you go into this land and everything's unknown. You have no clue. There are no signs, nothing. But you sense that there is much there. This is no different. There's little things that happen as we journey within ourselves that kind of try to push us out of it. And we begin to embrace that, and so we back off, we move away. And you eventually will break through this facade that the ego mind has created. It's kind of a barrier. Because ego mind does not care to have you find out that you are the master. See, you're the commander. You direct. You decide. Not the ego mind. And once you do this, you reveal and say, okay, now I'm getting this. I'm beginning to get it. That my ego mind has continually blocked me in a lot of different areas by overloading me with useless thoughts. And that's what they are, too, most of them. So now I know that through the heart mind, I can literally choose the thoughts that I choose that will be good, that will be expansive, that will add to my experience. And then you begin not to fear the God within you. Because that might sound a little strange to some, but a lot of the civilization on this planet is fearful of the God within them. They choose not even to acknowledge that fact. Some will, on the surface, superficially, for convenience, depending on the situation. But deep, heartfelt, not a lot. And because what happens is that you will find and discover that you're all that there is. See? And I believe that a lot of the civilization of this planet, a lot of the people, are afraid to find that out, even though they sense it. Because it is mind-opening. The fact is that you're all that there is. You're the essence of all creation. So what do you do with that? What do you do with the essence of all creation? Because you, in the body, are holding the essence of all creation. That's pretty wild. So when you understand that, to a certain degree, we're not going to understand it overnight, but we start to pick up powerful, uplifting understandings and frequencies that leads us into other directions and higher frequencies. See, we're no longer sitting on the shelf waiting for someone to pick us up. Okay? We are the shelf. We are everything. We are the ones that pick ourselves up. Oh, nothing else does. See, because you decide. You ever been in a situation where someone says something to you that's inspiring to you? That you become, it's like all the lights come on inside of you, and you just, it's like, wow. Well, you know where that comes from? They touch the God within you. And it just depends on how everything is there at that time, at that instance, where it all comes together. And you know, hence the word, I've just had an epiphany. Say? And that's because, you know, you carry all the answers to all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. You don't carry all the experience because you haven't had it all yet. But you carry some of it. And when we talk about surrendering to the God within, that's absolute. When you do that, you move into different space. Many of the things that have entertained you or disturbed you in this density will no longer. They'll vaporize. Wherever you put your intention, and this is what the dark handlers have done for a long time, wherever you put your intention, you're going to create. See what I mean? It's an inevitability. It isn't something that maybe, kinda, possibly. It is a definitive. Wherever you put your intention, you're going to create. Now, maybe not knowingly. There's a majority knowingly that there's not a knowing of that. They think it's coming from somewhere else. You know? And it isn't. So this is why working and being with the heart, mind, and getting to know the God within you, you then begin to become much more clear and conscious, much more viewing. You look at things much differently. And you start to understand eventually it's going to be automatic for you. Just nope, yes. No, yes. And you'll take, through the heart mind, you'll choose the thoughts that you want to create to reality. And they'll benefit you, not only you, but they'll benefit the entire civilization. Because each one of us that steps into the God that we are makes a massive shift and change within the entire golden ocean. Now, it may not be recognized with fireworks and everything, but it is still a shift. And this population, this humanity, is learning very quickly now that all this stuff, all this conflict, the same doom and gloom scenario has been played on this civilization from the beginning. The sky is falling. World War III is coming. Bombs are going to burst. Everybody's going to die. The bad guys are hiding in the ground. The wars are raging. You see how it works? So if it gets enough attention from us as a collective, we will create it. It's inevitability. But here's the shift. We no longer, our attention is no longer on it at all. It does not service the greater good. Anything that harms life will not serve us for the greater good, which we are the greater good, which our gods are the greater good. So we begin to understand that this is, you have no draw to it whatsoever. You are not curious about it anymore. You know, You're not inquisitive about it because it's old. It's been played forever. And don't think that this civilization is the only civilization with heavy-duty egos and allowing the ego mind to control them, because there are those on this planet that are not, they're humanoid, but they are not, how do I put it? They're from different places outside of this planet. Right? We hold different genetics from many different civilizations. We could say that we aren't from this planet, but we were seeded here. So we're all from different places, all converged here. And then when we realize that, we say, well, that's all right. That's no big issue. I'm with the God within me so that I can expand and I can experience other than just here. That I can experience total peace within myself. This is the beginning. When you start electing and choosing to experience within you total peace, in love, happiness, and bliss, and joy, that of which you are, and you're able to open that up and embrace it, then you begin to accelerate your knowingness and preparedness for you to ascend, and ascending into a different form to experience new, different things. Do you honestly think that we just are going to sit here on this planet and continually go in a circle jerk forever, constantly incarnating, having civilizations wiped from the earth and new ones put in and starting over? That's just not why Source created us. We come here, we experience. We go other places, we experience. We inhabit other forms, we experience. That's what we're doing. And so you can see the broken record that we're aware of this. It's not anger. It's not an anger thing. It's actually a celebration that we are able to understand how things are constructed and how they play on us and how they divert us and confuse us. Say? And then you as you continue to surrender to the God within you, and that's your choice. It's all of our choices. It isn't something that's got to be forced or manipulated or tricked into. It is our knowing and openness with ourselves that we say, I'm going to start this journey from within me, and I am going to meet the God that I am. And that's when everything shifts. When you make that heart-mind decision to do that without any external authority, just you, that's when you begin to shift. You know? And it isn't a burden, and you don't worry about it, and you aren't concerned if you're doing it right, and why isn't it working? You don't even go there with that. You're in bliss because you've made the decision to embrace the God that you are. And we have been taught for so very long that everything is hard, everything is stressful, everything is clawing. We have to persevere. We have to just constantly scrape, pull, and grapple for every inch in this life existence. And in reality, it's the opposite. And understand, you're in a eternal bliss, a golden ocean of endless prosperity, wealth, happiness, joy, peace, non-judging, non-negativity, non-ego mind. And you're always in it, saturated with it, surrounded by it, of it, from it. And yet, how many of us struggle day to day to live, just to live on this planet. You will learn much more and much deeper, and you will take much more time to learn and gain knowledge if you are in joy and in bliss, because you will not concentrate and grapple the thoughts from the ego mind of the lowness, the degradation, the pain, the sorrow, the anger. We don't. That doesn't serve us. Oh yes, we need our pain. We need to have, because how would we know any different? We've experienced so much of that for tens and hundreds of thousands of years. It doesn't make any sense to continually experience it. We know what it is, and that's it. That's it. So we expand into the bliss that we are. You can't, see, you're not going to be able to maneuver your journey if you don't expand into the bliss that you truly are, and that you don't embrace the God that you are, and you walk together. You and your God walk together. And that's just meditation, walking together. If you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, which I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we want to do is relax our bodies, our temples. It is so important for us. We will come full circle, and we will. And the full circle is this. We will know how to heal ourselves. It will be effortless. And this is about, before that happens, you must understand and embrace the God that you are. If you do not do that out of fear, then you will not come to that understanding of the power within you to heal yourself. Everything about your body. So you relax the body. You learn, you know, and only you know your body. So you relax it. You talk with it. How are you? How are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? See? And you'd be amazed what happens when you start having this synergy with your body. You say, body, it's time to relax. Let's relax in this meditation together, and so the body will relax. And a lot of the debris that you carry with your body will drop away. And you'll feel it relax. And as you're relaxing the body, you move into the now. And the now is all we have. No matter what any external authority tries to convince you of, that now is all we will ever have. And the now, everything is housed in the now. Past, present, future. As a matter of fact, in this very moment, in this now that we are all in, we are creating our futures. Like an artist with a blank canvas. Like an architect with an idea. No different. And we begin to realize that we don't travel into the past, bring the past into our future to create our future. Many do this, and it isn't a bad thing or wrong. It's just many do it. And, they say, why am I doing this again? And I find myself over and over doing similar things, same thing, 30, 40, 50 years later. But it's the knowledge of knowing that. And so we stay in the now. We don't go in the future. We aren't sitting there going, what are my futures going to be like? I wish I could look 5 years into the future. The strange part is, if you did that, and then you go back to the now, and then 5 years later you find out that the future that you went 5 years in advance isn't the future that you have. It's pretty tricky. This is why we stay in the now, and we create our futures in the now. Everything that we do in the now is creating our future. The past is the past. We've experienced all of the past. We don't need to go back into it and experience it again. There's new adventures in our journey, new exciting things, much more than we have ever had. Why would we go into the past on things that we have already done? We move forward. We embrace the newness and the exuberation of experiencing new things. So also, as we relax the body and we're in the now, we want to breathe. And we do it very nicely and easily. We breath in through the nose, and we breath out through the mouth. And as we breath in through the nose, nice, easy inhale, we hold it for 3 seconds. And these words are the 3 seconds. I am light, I am love, I am. I am light, I am love, I am. I am light, I am love, I am. You do this through the heart mind. And we want to do this at least 6 times while I'm talking. The reason we hold the breath is because we all know it focuses us on the now. The breath is the now. And it's very powerful to focus on the breath. Because if we're not in the now, and we realize it, and we concentrate on our breath, we will go snap right back into the now. Instead of wandering. And as we breath in, we're breathing in divine positive energy. This is the high frequency of deep eternal love. And it carries messages all the time. It comes from Source creation, Source creator, that which created us, out of pure deep eternal love. And then as we do this, we are communicated through our God to our heart mind. Purity of knowing without the interference of the ego mind. Purity of knowing. This is why it comes through the God within to the heart mind. It does not go through the ego mind. It goes through the God within to the heart mind. Purity of knowing. So when we bring this in, what is its source? Well, it's Source creation, which is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It's the collective consciousness of this planet Earth, Gaia. It is the collective consciousness of the universes. Phenomenal information. And as it comes in, it's a vibrational frequency. It's a feel. It's not a voice. It is a sense, a feeling, of feeling the vibrational frequency of the communication. As it comes in, we walk with our God, side by side, throughout eternity. No matter what form we take, we still walk side by side with our God. It never changes. It is always constant and eternal. Unfortunately, a lot of us will ignore the fact out of fear that that is the case. That they begin to fear the God through the ego mind. Which is just absurd, but that's what has happened in many instances of this civilization. So picture yourself wherever you go in this life, whatever you are doing, whatever you're thinking, your God is right next to you. Inseparable. without your God, that body would not function. Okay? It would not function. How do you trick the God into not healing the body? By convincing you through the ego mind that there is no God within you, that the God is outside of you. And the God is vengeful. And the God will punish. You see what I mean? Force and fear. But once you begin to realize and absorb with the clarity and understanding that you are the God, and you, all of us, walk with our God. No matter how you try to slice it, that is infinite. We have many with us. We are in our heart mind. We communicate with our God always. We are all one. And we have the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, all the angels, they carry their gods. Their physical bodies vibrate at a different frequency than ours. So this is why it is not easy for us to talk with them or see them from the perspective of physicality. And there's trillions of them, and most of us are surrounded by them all the time. They're of the highest, deepest, eternal love, from the highest, deepest, eternal love, and the highest, deepest of gratitudes. And they appear, and they interact with us all the time. It just depends on how conscious we are and clear, so that we vibrate at a higher frequency, so that we are much more aware that they are there. The Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda, Jesus, El Morya, Abundantia, Thought, Tel, many, many, many more. Their gods left the body, ascended out of the body, and are holding their God form. We are gods that have ascended into the body. You can ascend into, and you can ascend out of. See? We are experiencing as gods in these bodies. And they can only maintain that high frequency if they're the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love consciously. And the highest and deepest gratitude. And they are. Because they're with us. And we're all together. So what do? We decide to form a circle of light. Arm in arm, hand in hand. In this very now, in this moment, in this circle of light, in this meditation, we begin. So, as we do this, the God light, the source creation of all, is our light. And it is so bright that it grays the darkness of space. And we encase this planet and all of us in a perfect, harmonic, beautifully balanced, eternal sphere of deep, eternal love. We maintain a high frequency of deep, eternal love. We maintain a high frequency of moving more and more into love. The emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. The violet blue purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. The white fire, the purple transmuting flame, the violet ray. The golden white pink light of source creation. Prime Source Creator God, Mother, Father God, the feminine and the masculine, our family. This is what part of us, this is these, for the frequencies of these lights, of these flames. And we hold them within us. And they surround us. And then they encase us. And the only way these can be penetrated is if we lower our vibrational frequencies. It's like you have a force field that's impenetrable, correct? And the only way you can weaken it is by lowering your frequency, which is the very energy that supports the protective field. So again, it's up to each and every one of us to maintain high frequency. In this way, we begin to move more and more into higher and higher frequency with our God. And the opportunity for the lower vibrational frequencies to even sustain themselves for a second is obliterated. So we begin to levitate up above the planet. As we do this, we're outside the body. We decide to float above the body. All of us, archangels, ascended masters, their bodies are in God form. Okay? So we choose to float outside of our bodies. And as we do so, we're compelled. It's an automatic. In joy, we call out to the other parts, the other creations of Source, the rest of the family. It's endless. All of the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. They're in full compassion and non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, deep peace, happiness, bliss, joy, kindness, gentleness, softness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, benevolence. And they come from every angle, from thousands of universes, trillions of universes. And each one is a googolplex. They fill the entire universes. And they join us, arm in arm, hand in hand, in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. They're gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one, and we are all love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon the inhabitants of inner Earth, hollow Earth, America, beneath Earth, all of these civilizations. And only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love, from the highest, deepest, eternal love, can join us in this meditation, in this now, in this circle of light. If their frequencies are not high, they cannot sustain with us. Their only choice is to raise their vibrational frequencies so that they can be with us. If not, they are vaporized. They are gone. They are in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, peace, joy, bliss, kindness, gentleness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in the billions, arm in arm, hand in hand. They join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation, Their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. We're all love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon the off-worlders, the galactics, Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, and many, many, many more. Only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us in this meditation, in this now, in this circle of light. They have been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, in freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and slavery. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, peace, gentleness, kindness, tranquility, benevolence. And they come in the billions, arm in arm, hand in hand. They join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. They are of their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. And we are all love. And our God-light energy is everywhere. We call upon our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us in this meditation, in this now, in this circle of light. They're in full compassion and non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, peace, joy, bliss, kindness, gentleness, softness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come arm in arm, hand in hand, in the billions, and they join us in this meditation, in this circle of light, in this now. Their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. And we are all love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon all of the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth Gaia. Fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, mermaid, dolphin, whale, Pegasus, unicorn, centaur, minotaur, many, many, many more. Only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us in this meditation, in this now, in this circle of light. They're in full compassion and non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, generous and humble, stillness of mind, gentle, peace, joy, bliss, tranquility, benevolence. And they come in the trillions in shapes, sizes, colors, forms, configurations of which we have never seen before. And arm in arm, hand in hand, they join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. Their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. and we are all one, and we are all love, and our God-light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Saturating all the sacredness of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Lifting the low frequencies into the higher and higher realms of deep, eternal love, peace, and joy. We look up and we see our meditative sphere. We created this meditative sphere. It holds all of our meditations in perpetual motion. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. It can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. You can feel it as it floods and saturates your physical body. Head, toe, inside and out. Your God. And you feel the communication, the deep, eternal love flood you, saturate you. And the knowingness that your God always walks with you, and you with your God. It has never not been, and it will always be. You walk with your God, and your God walks with you through this entire existence. And we look upon the planet, Earth Gaia, and all of our brothers and sisters, all the ones that are asleep, all the ones that are just waking up, all the ones that are clearing their eyes, and all the ones that are bright-eyed. All life. And they are flooded more and more and beginning to understand that they have God within them, that they are the kingdom of God, that their God walks with them always, and they walk with their God always. It has never not been, and it will always be. And feel the love that you are. Embrace the love that you are. And the shift continues, and the vibrational frequencies levitate, move upward. We enter more and more and more. I join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take this with you the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. Walk with the God that you are. We will be back here January 10th, 2020, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern.